Yes, people, how are you doing? Good afternoon. Welcome back to AN Sports for the Pole Position Pod. Today we've got the Brazil Grand Prix preview, excuse me, not review, the sprint race review, but the Grand Prix preview. We've got the race tonight in just about 8 hours. In just about 8 hours, yeah. So, guys, first and foremost, hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to King's channels. The link will be in the description of the video. But King, welcome back, bro. And obviously just us two today. Augusta unfortunately couldn't make it, but we'll be back tomorrow for the race review. So, King, how are you doing, bro? All good? Everything okay?
Oh yeah. What a weekend so far.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats to Lando. He's been dominant.
For
That's the
sure.
main thing I think we've got from this weekend. Lando dominance. Um, Obviously we're gonna be talking about quali and obviously the sprint race. A lot of shocking things happened. His rivals making mistakes, him being confident, assured, doing what is necessary to win this World Drivers' Championship. And I think if he wins the race this evening,
It's wraps.
it's done. Well, no, it's not done, but it's one
But
hand on the
more like
trophy.
I agree. Yeah, because
One hand on
I
the
don't
trophy.
see I don't see Max Verstappen catching up, especially where he finished in the qualifying last night. But we'll get to qualifying in just a little bit. We'll talk about the sprints first. Lando Norris dominated from the start. Obviously, King, you want to elaborate on what happened at the start as well? Because I missed the start of the start of the sprint race. I was watching Djokovic win the Athens Open last night. So big up to Djokovic. Um, but talk to me about the sprint race. Oh, sorry, what sprint race? Um, excuse me. No, not sprint race. I missed. I was watching the United game, and then I ended a bit late, so I missed the start of the sprint race. And that's why I didn't know what was going on. But talk to me about what happened, and you can take
Oh
over
yeah,
from there.
I had my eye on the sprint for a little bit. Yeah, basically from the start it was a wet conditions, not perfect conditions. So there was
Right.
points where it was a bit tricky for the drivers. They were still on dry tires, but there was spots and places where there was a bit of dampness, a bit of wet outside of the regular racing line. But Oscar made a mistake. He span out in the fifth lap, costing him the sprint.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, he was catching up to I think Kimi at the time, but he made the mistake, crashed. There was a couple other incidents with Colapinto who also crashed out, which led to the sprint being suspended.
Yeah.
Uh, um, for red flag settings because of those couple of incidents. Of another car span as well. I think it was Hulkenberg as well. His car, I think span as well. I think it was either him or but it was one of the Saubers, kick Saubers. I can't remember which one, but they also span as well. And it led for a long stoppage because obviously you know when two cars are crashed in such a vital position as the start of the first corner, you have to take the cars out and etc etc. So they had to red flag the sprint race. And it was pretty much the perfect situation for Lando because your main rival crashed out of the sprint, meaning you had the opportunity to go 8 points up on him. Um, Max was behind the two Mercedes, so he had no chance of catching up, and I don't think he had the pace to do so. As he's shown over all weekend, he hasn't had the car to compete with the McLarens or the Mercedes. And uh, obviously Lando didn't dominate the sprint race, but just did enough
But
to be just ahead
yeah,
of Kimi.
yeah.
Did just enough because there was points where Kimi looked like he was gonna maybe get past him, but he just did enough to defend his position and win the sprint race in the end. And then at the end, Bortoleto unfortunately crashed out um as well, uh right at the end there. So it was a an event filled race. A couple incidents that happened. A mistake from Oscar. I think there was a couple coming together with Colapinto and a few other drivers in the fifth lap, and like we predicted, the wet race made a little bit of changes, but not to the extent. It wasn't as wet as I was expecting. It was rain, but it wasn't completely rained over to the point
Yeah.
where it would have gone to inters, or it was just enough for a little bit of tragedy, and the tragedy was on the side of Oscar Piastri, getting no points out the sprint. Lando got 8, Max got 5, and overall, the main crux of it was Kimi not being able to get past Lando, Charles struggling to get past Fernando for a lot while, and right at the end, even Lewis nearly got past Fernando. So the Ferraris do have a little bit of pace, but yet again, their qualifying has let them down.
100%. This is why I told you at the start of the season, or not at the start of the season, but in one of the races, if Ferrari start on pole, they have the pace. They have the pace, but the issue is their strategy is not good enough, and that's why their downfall is and that's where they are this season. They are where they are this season, and they're not going to win a single race. It's I think this is the first time since 2020 that Ferrari haven't won a single race in a year, or 2021. I can't remember which year it was, but regardless, Ferrari. Sorry, aside from Ferrari, Mercedes seem to be doing well in the sprints, haven't they? They seem to have the pace. They seem to have the timing. They seem to have
they're the second fastest car this weekend, definitely.
Yeah,
Behind
for sure.
the McLarens. It's been shown been even to even catch up to the McLarens as well.
Or just McLaren, to be fair. I guess Lando Norris is probably the fastest driver this weekend. And
no. It's been because obviously what's it called? Oscar's been quicker than George, but Lando's been quicker than Kimi. So it's
right.
Mercedes, the McLarens are quicker than the Mercedes. But
Mm-hmm.
Kimi's been the better Mercedes driver. Lando's been the better McLaren driver. So yeah, that's what I would say.
No, I hear that, but also you got to look at where it reminded me of the last race where Max Verstappen was leading by so much, but George Russell caught up and almost overtook him. Kimi Antonelli needed the same thing to Lando Norris this week. It reminded me of the last sprint race in Miami, but this time it's in Sao Paulo and there's more overtaking zones than you expect. Obviously, with that overtaking zones, you only have 2 or 3 options in the first 2 or 3 corners, or the straight line grid where where you start the grid, right? That's where you can overtake, but that's just about it. If you can't overtake there, it might be long before you can overtake. That's what we saw yesterday in the sprint race. We saw that Charles Leclerc struggled to overtake Fernando Alonso, but in spite of all that, Fernando Alonso is a very, very good he's a good driver in terms of he can defend his lead, and that's what he did on Lewis Hamilton. He did that for Charles Leclerc for probably majority of the race. Charles Leclerc almost caught up a few times, but then he managed to overtake. The Lewis Hamilton one, he managed to hold off Lewis Hamilton very, very well. But the thing is, if tomorrow in the race that happens, and if and let's just say Max goes from 16th to about 7th in the space of I don't know how long, and Fernando Alonso's where is he again? Fernando Alonso finished. He finished in Q2. He wasn't able to qualify for Q3. If Max Verstappen is trying to get past Fernando Alonso tomorrow, it's going to be difficult because Fernando Alonso knows how to defend his lead, and Fernando Alonso his tactic, I think, I won't say tactic, but it kind of worked in the sense that he's gonna race with Max to the top 10, and to see where Max finished is a bit of a shock. And to see where Fernando Alonso also finished is a bit of a shock because considering how they've been in the last few races as well, they didn't have the pace to finish in Q2 or at least get to Q2 and Q3. But then you also talk about, I would say, damaging limitations, managing their tires. They weren't able to do that this weekend. It doesn't seem like Max had the pace this weekend. It didn't seem like Max had the ability to get past, or not to get past, but to also race to his full potential. Because I think Max is a lot faster than what he is. I just think the track, he just didn't manage the track temperature. He didn't manage the track right, and that's why he finished in Q1 and a huge shock because I didn't expect Max to finish in Q1, and this has been the first time Max Verstappen finished in Q1 since he won his first championship. Since the year he won his first championship in 2021, that was the year Max Verstappen finished Q1. Ever since then, he's never ever dropped into Q1. That is really really good. Like considering how dominant he's been over the years, and like I said, now you can make mistakes. But I also say you can make mistakes down the stretch because these now this is the last this race. After this race, you got Vegas, then you got Qatar, then you got Abu Dhabi. These next three races, you cannot afford a mistake. You cannot afford a mistake. But then again, Max Verstappen is Max Verstappen. He knows what to do. He knows how to manage. He knows how to manage himself, and his team knows what he needs to do. This weekend, I think it was just a mistake on his part. Hence why he finished in Q1. I don't think he was quick enough himself. His car was okay, but I don't think he himself was quick enough. You know what I'm trying to say. But back to the sprint race real quick. Overtaking zones. There are overtaking zones, but very, 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 very less. Very less. And you have to manage them well. Charles Leclerc did very well against Fernando Alonso at the end. And Kimi Antonelli. Lando Norris defended himself very, very well in front, especially when his batteries were slowly it's dying down. If you know what I'm trying to say, I think his battery was his car battery was losing it. You know what I'm trying to say. And I think the way he defended himself against Kimi, who had the pace, who had more pace down the final few turns, down the final few laps, you have to give credit to Lando Norris. You have to give credit to him there, in my opinion. But don't know what else you have to add on that.
I wouldn't say that Max was slow. I would say his car has been very slow this weekend, shown by the sprint qualifying where Yuki struggled to get out of SQ1. And then it's showed in the quali where both Red Bulls were knocked out. Usually Yuki normally gets knocked out maybe Q2, if that. Sometimes he gets knocked out at Q1 if the car's really bad. But I think the Red Bull's just been because they've stopped adding any extra bits and bobs to it, and they're looking forward to next season. I just think the car wasn't good enough or set up well enough for Brazil, and they both struggled. It wasn't even like it was close to the Sainz's time. It was 0.3. So really, I just think he just didn't. How would I say it? How would I say this without being disrespectful? That Red Bull is a terrible car at the moment.
It is. You're right. You're not wrong.
The Racing Bulls is better at this. The Racing Bulls is better. This is how bad the car is. That both the sister cars are top 10. The Racing Bulls couldn't make it past Q1. That means the Red Bulls couldn't make it past Q1. The Racing Bulls are finished fourth and fifth and seventh respectively, and it was Max Magic that pretty much got him the chance in sprint qualifying, but he couldn't do it in the main. And yeah, it's a disgrace actually. I think it's very disgraceful that Max did all that work to get himself back into the conversation for his team to let him down, for the car to let him down. And on the other hand, Oscar hasn't been quick enough in recent weeks, struggling behind in terms of pace of Lando all over the weekend. In the sprint qualifying, in the sprint, making a mistake in the sprint to not get any points, and in the qualifying, finishing both behind a Mercedes and a Ferrari. Finishing behind Charles in a Ferrari. The Ferrari that we've both said in the preview too has been terrible, has been slow for the most part. It's not not good enough, and and Oscar hasn't been quicker than those cars, and that is the problem. I think that Oscar's time in Q3 was worse than his time in Q2. So when it mattered most, he didn't show up. He didn't add the extra oomph. needed. And yeah, man, I think what what I said before, and I'll say it again, is that what we needed for Lando is Lando to dominate this weekend, and he has so far.
He has.
Dominated sprint qualifying, he's dominated the sprint race, he's dominated qualifying. He needs to just win this race, and he's got one hand on that drivers championship. And I think for McLaren, and this is the thing I'll say for McLaren itself, would be the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
It's the driver they made. It's their British driver. It's Zach Brown's second son, or son he never had, winning a drivers' championship. They won the constructors, and I think that's what they wanted from the beginning. So, as much as they can talk about, there's no favorites. Oh, my camera's not working. Sorry.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it.
There it is.
Man.
As much as they can say there's no favorites, and you've had the crazy theory about Piastri. The truth be told is the true theory is that they've always wanted Lando to be the number one guy, and now he's shown he is, and he's doing what he needs to do towards the end to win that drivers' championship. And I think that would be the best ending for them. To be constructors, Lando win it. As a Lando hater, it'll be upsetting to me. I may even, quit Formula One for a year, because to have someone so poor be a world champion, the worst in my lifetime, maybe the sport I love has gone. I'm joking. I don't hate Lando that much.
I can't go.
Can't stop watching Formula One. Even they tried to destroy my channel, but no, I'll always watch Formula One.
I don't blame
you. But all I hope is that Lando, keep doing what you're doing, keep proving me wrong. And I respect that. I respect when something I say doesn't go right, because I'm not Nostradamus. I don't get everything right. I thought he didn't have the mentality to do what he's doing, but this weekend has proven he has that mentality. He's a mentality monster, and he's proven it. And he's dominating the weekend. He's dominating both his rivals, and he's asserting himself as the de facto leader of the World Drivers' Championship race in one of the homes and meccas of racing in Brazil. A place that Lewis calls his second home, a place where the real drivers.
I was wondering why the commentators were saying Lewis's home or something like that. Like Lewis or Augustia saying to me yesterday, at home, Lewis at home. Like it's his race, isn't it?
Yeah, it's his second home. He's also a citizen of Brazil. They give him a citizenship.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I never knew that.
They pretty much feel like they look at him as the second coming of what Senna was, and drivers like that was, because of the way he drives. And that's what makes Brazil so special, is the great Brazilian drivers of the past. And that's why Brazil is a track where if you win it, if Lando wins this race this weekend, I will have no problems and no qualms with him winning the drivers' championship, because he did it on a track like this, on a driver's track, and he's dominated on multiple different conditions. Anything we've asked for him of this weekend, he's gold stars, 5-star, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, A+, perfect.
Because you remember, sorry, finish first. You're good.
And he just got to finish the job. He just got to win the race.
Do you remember last year when we talked about the Constructors' Championship?
Yeah.
When McLaren needed to step up to win the race. Lando Norris was the one who stepped up for McLaren to win the Constructors' Championship. Now, if he wins the Drivers' Championship, this is McLaren's complete dominance. This is on him. McLaren's been on him. We can credit Oscar for his race wins at the start, for sure. But when Lando Norris needed it most, when he had to step up, this is when he stepped up. And now he's shown that he can actually drive on his best ability, and mentally he has it. Like obviously I wasn't Lando's biggest fan. Obviously on shows I have defended him in certain debates and whatnot. But now when the going gets tough, we've seen the best of Lando Norris. And if he can win this race, I reckon the championship is pretty much his. Because Max Verstappen made a huge error this weekend. I think as much as we can say Red Bull made an error, Max Verstappen himself also made an error, because he knew how to use his car. He knew how to drive. He knew how to drive the car with his ability, because when Max Verstappen finished in the sprint race yesterday, where he finished in the sprint race yesterday, we can talk about Verstappen getting P4. Maybe he could have got P4. Maybe he could have got, P5 or something like that in the top 10. He could have finished in the top 10. But he, down the final few sectors, did not. He, in the first, was sector 2, sector 3, that he struggled, that he wasn't quick enough, and he only managed to climb to, what was it, 16th. He finished 16th in the grid. So the standings as of right now is Verstappen starts in 16th, Ocon 17, Colapinto 18, Yuki Tsunoda 19, and Gabriel Bortoleto 20th. Verstappen has Sainz to deal with, Stroll to deal with, and Hamilton to deal with. So breaking into the top 10 will not be as easy as you think. I know Ferrari on is quick, but
No, Hamilton had a good would be all right because he's gonna have a good start. Because even in the sprint, he had a good start. Hamilton
easy.
started. Hamilton started on where did he start in the grid? He started, I think, like
Hamilton started in he got disqualified
P11
yesterday.
In sprint qualifying, he started 11th, and then in the sprint he finished 7th because he made a good start. He got I think he got like 3 places within just his start. So
Yeah.
I think Hamilton, because Brazil is his second home, I think he'll easily move within to P10, P9 by the first start because he's so comfortable within those first couple sectors of Brazil and he knows how to work it. But as I said it, I think before we got on to air, if I'm Max, I'm taking penalties. I'm juicing up my engine to the max. Pardon the pun.
No. I
and going from the pit lane and just going for it. Like go on a hard tire, go for the long run, hope for maybe a what's it called, a safety car, and just go for it. Go balls to the wall with your hard tires, and try and get past as many men as you can, and see what you can do. Because in the end of the day, he's got nothing to lose. So you might as well just take all the penalties at this point. You might as well just use up the car to, maybe even change the whole damn car. Because at this point, that's what might need to be happened. Change the ride height, change everything to his liking in order for him to have the best opportunity. And take whatever penalty you can, because 16th, 20th from the pit lane doesn't matter. You might as well do it and see what he can do, and see if he can produce one of those special max drives. Outside of that, it's Lando's race to lose.
100%. It is Lando's race to lose for sure. I mean, he finished I wouldn't say way ahead of Antonelli, but he finished just about 1 point, not 1 point, excuse me.
Just under a second. It was just under a second. They were close.
Just under a second, but the quality time is 1 minute 9 seconds and 511. 1 minute, sorry, 1 minute 9 and 0.511. Kimi Antonelli finished 1 minute 9 seconds and 685. So that was close. But where Verstappen finished behind Carlos Sainz, he could have made it to Q2. All right, he finished 16th. This is where he finished. Verstappen was slower than Carlos Sainz by 0.69 seconds. It was 1 minute 10 seconds and 403 for Verstappen, and 1 minute 10 seconds and 0.472 for Carlos Sainz. So 0.69 seconds. That's how close it was. Verstappen was 0.69 seconds slower than Carlos Sainz. Hence why he finished outside Q1. And this is where he made that mistake by himself. Big up to Mr. Joshua J. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel, people. Big up Ayan and King. Red Bull completely in the mud. They got embarrassed by Racing Bulls. Exactly. I'm surprised how the sister car managed to finish literally above their would you call their main
not just above, destroyed them. They finished 5th and 7th.
Them.
Shout out Hadja the Badger, man. Rookie of the year.
Isaac Hadja finished 5th, bro.
In the quali, yeah.
Completely dominated and finished 5th, man. But Kimi Antonelli stepped it up in the last few weeks. So the Rookie of the Year is looking a little bit spicy. You know, I'm trying to say it's looking a little bit. I would say
it's Hadjas, man. It's Hadja the Badgers. Kimi had. I don't think there's been a point where I looked at Hadja and said, he's had multiple bad races in a row compared to Kimi.
But yeah, like I said, it's getting close, man. Like I said, as of right now. But last thoughts on the sprint, and we're gonna move on to quali real quick.
On the sprint, brilliant from Lando, as I said. Um, kept the Mercedes at bay of Kimi, who was very quick. Didn't make the mistake that Oscar did, who crashed out, and just
Yeah,
did what he needed to do to get his car to the 8 points. 3 more points than Verstappen, 8 more points than Oscar. Perfect
exactly.
sprint.
Exactly, bro. What the hell did I just watch yesterday? It was mad. I missed Q1, so I didn't see Verstappen get eliminated. I watched the highlights, but when I watched Q2 and Q3, Lewis Hamilton wasn't fast enough. So, like I said, tomorrow Max is starting behind Carlos Sainz, Lance Stroll, and Lewis Hamilton, Alex Albon, and Fernando Alonso. That is going to be a struggle for him to get by. Huge struggle for him to get by because especially how slow this, like you mentioned, how slow his car has been this weekend, right? And you
Yeah,
mentioned how Red Bull, how he himself made a mistake. This is the mistake that he had to afford to he couldn't afford to make. Excuse me, he couldn't afford to make. This is the mistake that he couldn't afford to make. Finishing in Q1. If he finished Q2, I'd be like, you know what? Fair enough. Shit happens.
no, he needed to get to Q3. He needed to be around the top 10 at least, or in and about it. Even with the way his car is,
But
if where he is, he has no say in terms. If he doesn't get any points this weekend in the main race, it's going to be an issue because he has the biggest gap to Lando. So, for example, if Lando wins the race and gets to 25, he goes to 380. And if let's say Max doesn't get any points, that would be a 54-point gap, which I think is impossible for him to overturn.
I mean, especially finishing behind Sainz, Stroll, Hamilton, Albon, and Alonso, that's gonna be a struggle.
Yeah,
To,
yeah, and there's not enough races for him to overturn that gap. The last 3 races, he's gonna ask for miracles.
it's the start that I always mention in every single F1 show, and I'll mention it here again. It's always a start that you have to get past. It's a start that you have to get by, and if you can't, and if you, it's the biggest hurdle because once you avoid that traffic in front, if you can get through that traffic in front with like I said with the cars I mentioned, with the drivers I mentioned, if you can get by them, then you've got a real good chance to finish in the top 10. As of right now, I don't think Max is looking at top 5, top 6. I think he's looking at around top 10 finish. He doesn't care where he finishes in the top 10 as long as he gets top 10 in the points. Because at this rate, Verstappen needs the points. He can't afford to finish outside the points. You know what I'm trying to say? He needs to get into the top 10 to finish within the point system so that he can get closer to the McLaren drivers. But I don't see that happening anymore because if Lando Norris wins this weekend, I reckon it's over for Verstappen at least. For Piastri, I think Verstappen can catch Piastri. I think Verstappen can still come second. I think Verstappen is good enough to get second, but do I think Verstappen is good enough to get to the championship? I'm not so sure. Especially mistakes like this down the final stretch, it's gonna be a huge blow to his chances to win the race, to win the championship. Excuse me. But as of right now, I think Verstappen just wants the top 10 finish. I think he just needs the top 10 finish. It doesn't need to worry about top 5, top 6. At the moment, he's just got to get top 10. And traffic in front is what he needs to get by first. Because the drivers I listed in front and who he has to get by, they're really good defensive drivers in terms of how they can defend their lead in front. And with Verstappen's car not having the pace to get by this weekend and not having the pace to finish in a high qualifying position, I don't know if he'll be able to get to the top 10 easily. Will I be surprised if he gets into the top 10? No, it's Verstappen. He can easily do whatever he can do what he wants and he can get it. But the problem is, will he be able to do it? Will he be
No,
good? Will his car be good enough to get by?
no, he needs a wet race. He needs a wet race. He needs crashes. He needs other cars to take each other out. He needs Lance Stroll to do Lance Stroll things.
100%.
As I said, he needs to start from the pit wall and upgrade his engine and everything, tune it up. As I said, to the max. He needs to tune up his car to the max.
Max needs to jump up the max.
Yeah, to the max. He needs to do it to the max because that's the only chance he has of getting getting into the points position. And if he doesn't get points position this race, he doesn't catch no one. He finishes third.
He's done. So this is what I'm trying to say. Points is important for him. He needs to get into the points. The points is what he needs at the moment. And he needs to be perfect in the next 3 races to be within the shot for the championship. Otherwise, it's done. Otherwise, he will not be able to win the championship. He needs to be perfect this race, next race, and the race after, and the final race. We've got 4 races left. Verstappen cannot avoid any. Verstappen has to avoid any mistakes as well. Big up to Tifosi as well. He says here, I think that the DRS is not helping much. You need the driver in front to make a mistake in order to get a chance. I 100% agree with that. The mistakes in front will be what Verstappen relies on to get ahead. And that's where I don't think it will happen much, because Fernando Alonso defended Lewis Hamilton very well yesterday. And Hamilton's starting behind Alonso. So how is Hamilton then going to allow Verstappen to get by him for him to get past Alonso? You know what I'm trying to say? This is where I question. He can get past Carlos Sainz, Lance Stroll. That for him is light work for me. But
no, Carlos Sainz ain't light work. Carlos
no, I
Sainz
mean,
is a good driver.
so I would say light work, but easier compared to Alonso and Hamilton. That's the traffic he needs to get by. He has to get by.
The only easy one out of the front, the 5 ahead of him is Lance Stroll. Like Carlos Sainz, Hamilton, Albon, Alonso, even Hulkenberg are great defensive drivers.
Well,
and
that is true. But then again, Tifosi mentioned the mistakes in front. If Carlos Sainz makes a mistake,
he needs crashes. He needs Lance Stroll to take a couple man out. That's what he needs. He needs Lance. Obviously, he needs Lance Stroll to do something crazy. But that's the problem he's gonna have, is there's gonna be DRS trains, and it's not about getting past them. It's about Gasly, 9th, the Alpine. Everyone behind the Alpine in 9th is going to be slowed down because of how slow the Alpine is. And if no one can get past the Alpine or the Sauber of Hulkenberg, you're just going to be slowed down. And the top 8 are just going to move away, because Alpine is a terrible car. The Sauber
Alpine
isn't that much greater. The Haas in 8th with Oliver Behrman, he's a good driver, but his car ain't quick. So it's gonna be the issue is gonna be the fact that the cars, not the cars like Sainz, Hamilton, or Alonso, because they're gonna be trying to move up themselves. It's the Hulkenbergs, the Gaslys, the Behrmans, and slower cars that gonna slow the whole race down on their end. So he needs wet races, he needs crashings, he needs rain. He needs to pray to the rain gods and hope that Brazil is one of those crazy races where 2 of the bottom drivers win. But
it probably will be, to be honest.
Yeah, is it forecast for rain? Because it was raining over the. Obviously, you said there was a storm.
They mentioned the cyclone during the qualifying, right? But then again, it didn't happen. So we're lucky that didn't happen. That didn't affect the whole race. As I don't think it made a huge impact. I don't think it played much of an impact on the race. I'll be honest with you, or qualifying, should I say? It didn't make much of an impact. But the rain tonight will make an impact, because it is the race. Qualifying does not define the whole impact of the rain doesn't define the whole impact of qualifying. Qualifying is just about fastest lap and about fastest time. That's all you have to worry about. It doesn't affect the whole racetrack. It doesn't affect you in the driver's seat. But in terms of the race, for sure, because having to get past drivers will not be easy. Having to manage your intermediate tires will not be easy, and it depends on how bad and the how would you say visibility ahead will that play a part? Because remember, do you remember Silverstone? The visibility ahead was.
I just checked. There's only 20% chance of rain, and it's meant to be cloudy.
Well, I wouldn't really say much about percentage chance of rain, because sometimes where I live, sometimes it just says 20% chance of rain, but it just pours the next minute.
Yeah, because it was said 80% on the Saturday, and it did rain on the Saturday, but on the Sunday it's looking like it's less likely to rain. But it's going to be cooler, so cars that are quicker in cooler conditions might benefit.
Track temperature will play cooler. 100%. But man, that triple crash yesterday was crazy. Hopefully it happens today as well to make the race more interesting. For sure, man, for sure. But I just hope that there's visibility. I'm trying to say, I want drivers to race with good visibility, because I cool. Track temperature, track limits, and what do you call? Sorry, not track limit. Track how do you say it? Track conditions. Excuse me. Track conditions, visibility, and how else would you say it? and the condition, like the conditions of the weather and the weather itself, that needs to play a part. I think Lewis Hamilton strives in this as well. So don't be surprised if Lewis finishes fifth or sixth because of intermediates. Because Lewis in intermediate tires, he's the best at that. He's one of the best at intermediate tires for sure. We see it in the past few races. Silverstone, we saw it. Which of the races was it afterwards? It was in Spa. It was another one before. It was after. I think it was after Silverstone, if I'm not mistaken. It was one. Or it was two races after Silverstone. I don't remember where it was. Do you remember where it was? Was it Italy again? Or was it
I'm not sure. I don't know.
In one of the races after Silverstone, I think it was two races after Silverstone. You had two of the you had two races where we had to race behind the safety car. Do you remember that? They had to race behind the safety car for a few laps, and then once the safety car went in, then everyone started racing, and then the visibility ahead was really bad. They just had to race behind. They just had to race behind the safety car, and that's how the race was. But I just hope. Wait, how many laps is there? How many laps is there today? Just need to clarify that. How many laps is there? 50, 60 something? 60, 70 laps? Is it
Say that again?
How many laps is there today?
Let me check for you. F1 Sao Paulo.
Guys, hit the like button, subscribe to King's channel, and subscribe to my channel. Both of King's links are in the description of the video. Let's get to 500 subscribers. 8 subs away, people. We're 8 subs away. Tifosi says, I think it's Spa. Okay, fair enough.
71 laps. 71 laps scheduled. That's 71.
That's good. That's enough. That's enough time to race. That's enough. What do you call? I would say that's
I don't know, man. I think this year's overtaking has been non-existent, and that's been a big issue. I would say because of the DRS.
I wouldn't say non-existent. I would just say it's harder.
It's been terrible. It's been terrible, to be honest. Most of these races have been boring.
No, they have been.
Like I can't wait for next year when there's no DRS no more, no DRS trains, no bullshit. I'll be honest.
I agree because you can only activate DRS once you're 0.5 seconds behind, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, a second behind, and it's a specific zone. Whereas the new one is going to be wherever you want to do it, which is more strategy, and it's gonna be better for the racers that are smart and know when to use it. And yeah, man, I can't wait. It's not going to be no.
That's going to benefit drivers. That's going to benefit Ferrari as well at the same time.
It's going to benefit the quicker cars, because they're not going to be bogged down behind 100 slow cars moving slow in a DRS train.
Exactly. But also, like you mentioned about the overtaking zones and less overtaking as well.
Yeah.
That could play a part. But also,
there's only really one zone, the first straight and the second straight.
You got 71 laps to try and get, I would say, that's enough time for Verstappen to finish in the top 10. That's enough time for Lewis Hamilton to finish in the top 10. If it does rain, intermediate tires should help him get there in the top 10. But then again, it all depends on if there's a crash, if there's a red flag, yellow flag, or whatnot. Everything it has to go to plan, and visibility needs to be good. Otherwise, it'll be a huge struggle for drivers. Otherwise, racing behind a safety car will be a huge waste of time again. You know what I'm trying to say? You might as well red flag the race if it's like that, because what's the point of racing behind the safety cars and wasting a few laps when you can actually, like, when there's a clearer track, clear visibility for you to race to your full potential and full limit. You know what I'm trying to say? What's the point of? I just think it's much better that way. But yeah, anything more you want to add on any other drivers that you haven't talked about? Isaac Hadjar, you want to mention anyone else?
No, man. Rookie of the year, Isaac Hadjar, big him up. Great weekend so far. Hopefully he has a good race. But you know what racing bulls do? They qualify good and then they mess up the race. So I can't trust them to finish 5th and 7th. I'll be honest with you.
Shall we get to predictions now?
Yeah.
Apologies about the background noise, by the way. I live nearby nature, so it's what it is. But anyways, guys, Predictions. What are we saying? You want to go first, King?
Yeah. Lando, Kimi, Oscar. That's what I got.
Lando, Kimi, Oscar. Okay. So if you have two predictions for if it's a wet race, if it's rain, like if it's a really bad rain cyclone settings, how would you say it?
I don't think it's gonna be that. That's what I think it's gonna be a dry race. But if there is a by miracle rain, Lando, Kimi, Oscar. No, Lando, Kimi, Lando,
George.
Kimi. No,
George.
Lando, Kimi, Charles.
Charles
No,
Leclerc. Oh, but didn't Charles get third?
yeah, he got third, but he's in a slower car than the McLaren in race pace. So
I'm gonna
it's
sorry.
the only thing the only reason why I have Oscar overtaking Charles is just because of race pace.
Mm,
And I think Oscar's going to find it difficult to get past Kimi.
yeah.
Russell's behind Hadjar, which is an issue. So he may have he's going to have to deal with Hadjar first before getting towards the. So I don't think he gets a podium. And then obviously the other people that could possibly get podium, Max or Hamilton, are too far behind. So yeah, I think it's going to be McLaren, Mercedes, McLaren. I would love Charles to get a podium again.
Think you
But
would.
I don't trust Ferrari.
Here's my prediction for the wet race. I'm gonna go with Lando still to win the race. All right, I'll give you my two predictions. Lando if it's wet, if it's a wet race. Lando if it's not. If Lando if it's a dry race as well. Lando will win the race. Number two, I'm gonna go Kimi. Kimi will win. Will get second in both. Third will be a change. If it's a dry race, I'm gonna go Charles Leclerc. If it's a wet race, I'm actually gonna go with I don't know. I think George Russell. I think George Russell will finish third. I think the Mercedes will get a double podium with the McLaren. And I think Ferrari will drop down. Outside chance to get podium in both. If it's wet race and intermediate, I'm gonna go Lewis Hamilton because he's shown it in the past that he can finish in a high position with the intermediates. I just think he's the best driver in intermediates in my opinion. So we'll go with Lewis. In terms of dry race, I'm gonna say. Do you know what? I'm gonna go Isaac Hadjar in the dry race. There's a chance for him to finish in the podium. I'm gonna go with that.
Oh,
But
podium! You're saying podium?
podium, yeah, not outsider to win the race, outsider for podium. When I say
outsider would be for podium in a dry race would be Charles, and for a wet race would be Hadjar.
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's what. Actually, no. Yeah, that's what I said. Then I said Hadjar would get into the top three, or sorry, in a wet race, and in a dry race, I'm gonna say George. I'm gonna no, actually, you know what? I'll change my prediction. I'm gonna go George Russell to come third, and I'm gonna go Charles Leclerc outsider.
Actually, no. What? I think Charles can actually get top three, but I will
He
say
was
this. Outsider, regardless of what the race is Hadjar. Hadjar's an outsider. One of the top four, one of the guys that are top four, Lando, Kimi, Leclerc, Piastri, will fight, and George will fight for the P3, the first three positions. The racing balls of Hadjar and Lawson are the outsiders because I don't know how they're going to do over the race.
Yeah. Fair enough. But any of you guys want to add any predictions? Please leave it in the comments below. King's
Oh,
Link.
shout out to Behrman as well. P8.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Gasly P9 in the Alpine as well. That's crazy.
Maybe the Alpines
And
had laid a marker on Sao Paulo. Maybe it's their race now. I mean,
well, he did get a point in the sprint, so he got 8th in the sprint as well. So he got his team an extra point. You know, they went from I think they went from where? They went from 20 points to 21 points. So, big difference. They moved from 10th to 10th.
Huge difference. But anyways, any predictions in the chat? Put it there, people. Leave it there. King. Oh, sorry, you want to say something? So.
Oh yeah, and also what the racing bulls are doing is big in the race for sixth, because them and Aston Martin are on the same point, 72 each. So this race is going to mean a lot for both of those cars. So if Racing Bulls can get a double points position, that can solidify their sixth place with some good pointage. So shout out to the Racing Bulls.
But cool. Anyways, King, let them know where you got coming up, and let them know where you can find you, bro. Big up for coming on today.
Oh yeah. I'll be watching the football from the morning. 11:55, Women's Super League, London City Lionesses versus Tottenham onwards.
United lost. Shame.
Yeah. Liverpool, Brighton. Yeah, you lost against Villa.
First loss this season in the Super League.
Yeah, first loss. We drew with Arsenal. We should have won that game. Liverpool, Brighton, West Ham, Leicester. Obviously, Everton, Man City, 2:30. That's an important game because if City win, they go top of the table. And then the Premier League, obviously, 2:00 fixtures and the 4:30 fixture of Man City, Liverpool. I'll also be checking out the NBA game on Prime and NFL.
And then obviously,
but it'll be all encompass the watch-alongs. The only reason I won't be watching the watch-alongs if I fall asleep again, and I'm annoyed I missed the Arsenal game because that would have been generational.
Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. I mean, because last night Arsenal fans were talking about winning the league and everything, and all of a sudden they drop points, and then the audacity for them to talk about the audacity for them to say, oh, we weren't good enough, or we weren't. You remember confident of slapping Sunderland 4-0, 5-0. These guys were confident, bro. So listen, it is what it is. But Arsenal fans, hold that. That's all I can say. Hold that.
Yesterday was a great day. Everyone dropped points except for my team, so hold that.
Man United should have won the game yesterday, by the way. They should have won the game yesterday. But tomorrow I'll be live with Rasta for the Red Army Run Pod, so tune into that. Me and King are back tomorrow. 2 shows actually tomorrow. We've got the pole position pod. I have the Premier League show, and I have the F1 show. So guys, I've got 4 shows tomorrow. So
on the Monday.
On the Monday night. On the Monday, yeah. So NBA show tomorrow with King and F1 show.
Oh yeah, it is tomorrow. My bad. Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow, and then obviously Premier League show and our Rand Pod is tomorrow as well. So guys, tune into all that. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe. By the end of
I'll be there on the Rant Pod to laugh. Hold that! You can't even beat Tottenham.
You won't be laughing. You won't be laughing anytime soon. By the way, you could beat Man United. So listen, it is what it is.
We are second. You're 8th.
We're tied on points, though. We're tied on points. I think.
No, we're not.
I think we're points. Are we? No, I think we are.
No, I'm on 20. You're on 18.
No. I don't think so. I think. Hold on. Let me have a look.
Check again.
Let me have a look.
Yeah.
You can keep laughing, but you could beat Man United. You could beat Man United. We're worse than you, by the way. I'm just saying.
10 men. Anyway, big up Tifosi in the building as always.
It's all right, man. You can keep laughing. Don't worry about that.
No, I'm joking. You
got Arsenal next. I'm just saying. You got Arsenal next.
No, we don't. We have Burnley next. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Another 3 points. Let's go.
We'll see about that. But anyways, guys.
And then we're gonna beat up Arsenal at home. Let's go.
Well, possibly. I think you can. I think you can.
We need to. I'm tired of losing to Arsenal.
About time. But anyways, guys, King will be back on his channel later for Sunday, for Super Sunday.
Definitely. For the race.
It's a disgrace how the Patriots and the Bucks game is on Sunday Night Football, by the way. It's not on Prime TV. Yeah, it should be on Prime TV, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, Monday we do the NBA shows.
Yes, Monday NBA shows, F1 show tomorrow, F1 review tomorrow. Unless you want to do it after the race, I'm good to go as well. If you want to.
What time was the race finish?
The race finishes at about 2:30 my time, 3:30 my time. So 3 my time. I think the race will go about like 2 hours, 3 hours possibly. because 71 laps, it might be about 1.5 hours or 2 hours.
Yeah, it'll be 2 hours. So let me check what the actual time it is.
Depending on if there's any stoppages or whatnot. So if you want, we can go live after the race if you want to. If not, we can just go live tomorrow night. No big deal. Sorry, tomorrow evening, and then we can do NBA right afterwards. I'm good for that as well, if you like.
5 o'clock and it will finish by 7. What's happening at around 7 o'clock in the world of sports?
There's Patriots Bucks NFL.
Yeah, there's the Patriots box. There's the NBA. What time is the NBA as well?
NBA is tomorrow morning for me.
No, because there was one on Prime. There's a game on Prime.
The Lakers lost, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I know. Luka couldn't do it on his own, unfortunately. I was hoping for more points from him on my fantasy.
There's Bucks against Rockets. That's a good game. Bucks against Rockets.
That's the game. That's at 8:30 p.m.
Yeah,
I think.
And then obviously
that's the one I'm going to be watching.
And then if there's any other games, let me have a look. You got Celta Vigo, Barca, Lyon, PSG. Got some few good games.
Lyon PSG. What time is that?
7:45 UK. I think you might as well do that.
I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff during that time. It'll be a part of the it'll be a part of this show. Just know my channel is just going to be watching sports, and you can join me if you want. If not, it's what it is.
Yep. So subscribe to King's channel. Both of his links are in the description of the video. So both of his channels will be there, people. So guys, great show, great talk, King. I really enjoyed that talk.
Yeah, it was good to talk Formula One for a little bit. Hopefully the race is as good as the sprint, because the sprint was entertaining, at least.
Towards the end it was, yes. Towards the end it was. But anyways, guys, that's us for today. Hit the like button. 8 subs to 500. We're close. Subscribe to King's channel and hit the like button on the video. 15 likes. We're out, people. Take care. Forza Ferrari. Peace.